How's it going, YouTube? Pastor Shits here, back to another PSA return video, and really just a discussion video. It says today we're going to talk about this guy, Erling Haaland. He's been setting the hobby on fire since 2019, and I'm going to kind of talk about the graded cards I got back, kind of like my history of PSA of grading Haaland in the last like 6 months or so, and having to submit to regrade. So let's just go ahead and get into the return first. This was my first economy that I submitted whenever PSA brought back economy. And then if you don't know, their economy level, every Tuesday and Thursday they do like a raffle system, and they'll and like basically you get in a queue after joining the economy event. It's usually I think it starts at like 11 a.m. Eastern. You can start getting in the queue, and then at 12 noon Eastern time, it'll give you a random number, so it'll put you in the queue. Like if you're 1,000, you probably get in. And the way they used to do it, you would only get like 5 submissions at a time. It was really crappy. So what I would do is I'd try to get in multiple submissions, because you have like 15 days to submit a form and then mail it out. So I would try to get into multiple ones, and then submit like 3 or 4 at a time just to save on shipping. But anyway, one of the economy ones was I resubmitted some Erling Haaland finest cards that I thought were just absolutely gorgeous. So that's 5 of the finest ones. And the first one we have, unfortunately, is going to be a mint 9. So I mean, it cost me an extra $50 to do each of these. These mint 9, I want to say they're in the $200 to $300 range. This card is right now selling in the $700 to $800 range in a PSA 10. So quite honestly, if I can get, one PSA 10 out of all these that were PSA 9s, I've made my money back. And there we go, right there, gem mint 10. So we got it, we're good. I mean, it cost me another $250 to grade these 5 cards, but if I had sold one of these at $200, $300 versus $700, $800, unfortunately that's why people do a lot of resubmissions, because there's such a difference between the PSA 9s and the PSA 10s. Sometimes it makes sense. The bad part of it is it does screw up the pop reports, which I'm going to talk about the pop reports with Erling Haaland in a little bit. Then we got another PSA 9. So hopefully we can get at least another 10. That would be awesome. Okay, 9. So we're 3 9s. It's not, I mean, honestly, 1 10, we're good. But okay, last one, gem in 10. Okay, great. So we ended up, and if anybody's any of you that have been watching this channel for a time, you kind of know my history with grading Erling Haaland. And I sent a bunch of stuff off in 2020, like early 2020. They were all still value tier, and I was getting like PSA 9s, everything. So I'll kind of show you a history of some of the cards that I got PSA 9s on. I got a PSA 9 on this originally, sent it back, got a PSA 10. I actually sent this in with, it was 5 sapphire, and I got 2 10s and 3 9s. So I sent the 3 9s to BGS instead of sending them back to PSA, because they did have, 2 of them did have faint print lines. This one was nice, but anyway, we ended up getting a pristine 10, a 9.5, which I sold, and a 9, which I sold. So that's sick. There's only like, I think like 23 or 24 of these on the pop report. That was a few months ago, so it might have changed since then. We got a PSA 9 with this. This time we got a gem mint 10 and auto 10. Which quite honestly, I find that I personally feel like this is probably the rarest. I don't know about the finest short print, but I think this card is much more rare than the Bundesliga. I know a lot of people are big on the Bundesliga, but just for some numbers, and this was a couple weeks ago when I put this together, and I haven't done this video, but there's only 21 of these total graded. 13 were PSA 9s. Now, one of mine is one of those, so there's actually at least 12 PSA 9s because I regraded this. And then only 7 of these have gotten a PSA 10. If you compare that to the Bundesliga refractor auto, there's been 29 submitted, 22 PSA 9s, and only 7 PSA 10s. So, I mean, not including the color ones, because there were no color Erling Haaland in UEFA Chrome. So, however many of these there are, that's it. I honestly, truly believe there are only about 50 of these probably in the world. Maybe like 100. That's pushing it, though. I very rarely saw these get pulled out of UEFA, and I watched a lot of breaks. So, I get the Bundesliga is going to be king, especially with like the orange and gold and red refractor, the number stuff. But I really, truly believe that this is more rare than the regular refractor version. But that's just my belief. And I have the card, so I kind of have a vested interest in it too. But I mean, that's what the numbers say. We also had one of these who came back PSA 9. We got a Gem Mint 10. This one, I actually thought it should have been a 10, and I missed it. It has like a little dimple like over here or something, just a very minor surfer mark. That actually came back a PSA 9. These are actually to 10. If you look at the pack odds, you can figure that out. It's non-numbered. You've probably seen this card in several videos because I've actually done several videos about it. And so this card actually came back a 9. I resubmitted it. It got an 8. Then I resubmitted it again, and it got a 9. So the pop report on this is off by 2, at least. Then we had a purple refractor 9. I got this back and never resubmitted it. Never cracked and resubmitted it. So, I mean, it is what it is. So there we go. But just to talk about kind of the versions of Haaland. Obviously, you got the finest. You got the Sapphire Edition, and I think personally right now is a really good time to invest in Haaland. He's on a bit of a dip, mainly because Dortmund did not make the Champions League. Then they got relegated to the Europa League, and they lost out on that too. Sorry to my nephew. He's a big Dortmund fan. But I think depending upon where he goes this year, honestly, if he moves this year, there's probably going to be an uptick no matter what. If he goes to Manchester City, people will be excited he's going to the EPL. There'll be an uptick. If he goes to Real Madrid, which is where I hope he goes, which I think is better for his cards long term to go to Real Madrid, there'll also be an uptick. So right now, like, this used to be probably about $1,000 card. Those are like $700 or $800. You have the Sapphire. These at one point were selling for like $2,500, $3,000. I think they're back down to, I think I sold one of these for like $5,000 at one point. Can't believe someone paid that. But these are down to, I think, around $1,500. That's the Sapphire version. I don't have any numbers on that right now. Let me do this. And Bundesliga, I do not have a PSA 10, but interestingly enough, on the pop report, this is a 64% gem rate. I'm thinking about buying one of these actually. And there's been 1,523 submitted and 975 PSA 10s. So it has about a 64% gem rate. The reason why Bundesliga is so, I guess, considered number one in the hobby, it has been pumped a lot. I do like the picture. The picture's cool. It's a full body picture and it's got a ball in the picture. That's kind of neat too. But there have been 15, 20. So of the three that I'm going to talk about, this one has the most copies graded, and it also has the most PSA 10s, but it sells for about $1,000. Obviously the Sapphire, we're not going to include the Sapphire in this conversation. I mean, Sapphire is going to be king no matter what. That's just the way it is. I'm talking base cards strictly here. The finest, and we have a couple 10s here. This card, 1,440 submitted, and obviously that's going to be wrong because even I submitted several more of these cards. 822 PSA 10s for a gem rate of 57%. So a lot lower than the Bundesliga, and there's over 150 less PSA 10s in this card than the Bundesliga, yet it sells for anywhere from $200 to $300 below what the Bundesliga sells for. So keep that in mind if you're buying, a Haaland. The last one we would have is the UEFA. So this one, there's another of my Sapphire. I grabbed a bunch of Haaland cards just to talk about them. This one, the Chrome UEFA, this one's really hard actually to grade. There's been 1,486 submitted, and only 705 of them have gotten the PSA 10 for a 47% gem rate. This sells for about $400 to $450, so less than half of what the Bundesliga would sell for, but it has almost a 20% less gem rate, and it has 275 less copies of these. Now, obviously, they made a lot more Chrome UEFA than they did Bundesliga in 2019-20. So I would expect these gem rates to go. The gem rate will probably will stay about the same, but I would imagine that these will go up in population, especially ones submitted. There's going to be a lot of value ones that are still coming back. I actually have an order of these with about 15 that's value tier that's going to come back. It's in assembly right now. So these are going to go up and probably will, they'll overtake the Bundesliga at some point in time, most likely with PSA 10s. But if the gem rate stays around, 50%, which is much less than the Bundesliga at 64%, I think this could kind of rival with it someday. It's interesting how the hobby kind of does these things, Pop reports sometimes matter, but, people don't think about it. But these two cards are much harder to gem than the Bundesliga card. But the Bundesliga it was a short print product because they didn't make as many cases as they did Finest and Chrome is kind of the argument. But, it is what it is. I mean, you could buy a case of Bundesliga for like $40,000 on Blowout. A case of this is like $14,000. But yet you get Mason Mount rookies, you get Fati rookies, you get Haaland rookies. There's so many more rookies in the Chrome UEFA. And really all you have in this is Reina and Haaland. I might be forgetting somebody, but other grades we got Refractor 9 and 2 purple 9s. Now, PSA, what they did with these, I thought these were gorgeous. I wanted to crack and resubmit, but they took pictures of this front and back. So if I crack and resubmit these, they'll send them back to me because they're basically trying to say, no, you already graded these. You can't grade them again, which is fine. But weirdly enough, they upcharged me for those. And I talked about in the video where they came back. They upcharged me for those, but they didn't upcharge me for a green refractor PSA 9 that is numbered to 99, so it's a much more valuable card. And they didn't, and they also didn't take pictures of that one. So I sent that one back in to get graded again. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, just wanted to kind of have a discussion about Haaland. I think he's going to be, he's a tough call. He really is, because he probably is not going to have a big international footprint, being that he plays for Norway. I'm a big collector of him, as you can kind of tell. But quite honestly, it's a good time to buy him right now because of the dip. I think he will go up in the summer, especially if he makes a very big transfer somewhere, which is most likely. But if he goes to Manchester City, I'm probably going to be selling a lot of his cards. If he goes to Real Madrid, I'm going to hold them because then I'll collect them because he plays for my team. But outside that, if he goes to Manchester City, you're probably going to see a lot of these cards hit the market. So anyway, hope you liked the video. Please comment below. Tell me your thoughts, and I will see y'all in the next video.